Under the design law, justification is different. Let's ask some questions. When Adam and Eve sinned in Eden, did God get changed?
No.
Did God's law get changed?
No.
Did the actual condition of Adam and Eve get changed?
Yes.
Something changed in them. Yes, they did. So, what needs then, in order for atonement, at-one-ment, unity, reconciliation, salvation, the ridding of the universe of sin, what needs to happen? Does something need to happen to God?
No.
Does something need to happen to God's law?
No.
Does something need to happen to Adam and Eve?
Yes.
To the descendants of humankind. So, justification, setting right what's wrong. God's law doesn't need anything set right. It's right. Humankind needs to have, and what are the metaphors? The law written on the heart and mind, circumcision of the heart by the Spirit, the heart of stone removed, the heart of flesh put in, on and on and on it goes. Something needs to be done to fix sinners. So jumping to Friday's lesson, from the very first paragraph, from the book Faith and Works, page 18. For those who don't know, this was written by Ellen White, one of the founders of the Adventist Church. The danger has been presented to me again and again. Who was presenting this to her? One of the local preachers?
God.
So this is, for most Adventists, would assume that when she says presented to me again and again, in her conversations and prayers and meditations and so forth with God, she's getting this instruction, this enlightenment from God. This is what this implication is. Has been presented to me again and again of entertaining as a people false ideas of justification by faith. I have been shown for years that Satan would work in a special manner to confuse the mind on this point. The law of God has been largely dwelt upon and has been presented to congregations almost as destitute of the knowledge of Jesus Christ and his relation to the law as was the offering of Cain. I have been shown that many have been kept from the faith because of the mixed, confused ideas of salvation, because the ministers have worked in a wrong manner to reach hearts. The point that has been urged upon my mind for years is the imputed righteousness of Christ. So, what is being warned about here? Teaching a false view of righteousness by faith. That's what's being warned about, which dwells on law, a legal approach to righteousness by faith. By the way, another way to say righteousness by faith is justification by faith. That's the same thing. This approach to a legal view of justification by faith obstructs the gospel and keeps people from the faith. Here's another quote from the same author, Faith I Live By, page 111. What is justification by faith? I like those because it's, okay, here's an answer. What is it? Okay, here's what this author says. It is the work of God in laying the glory of man in the dust and doing for man that which is not in his power to do for himself. When men see their own nothingness, they are prepared to be clothed with the righteousness of Christ. The thought that the righteousness of Christ is imputed to us, not because of any merit on our part, but as a free gift from God, is a precious thought. The enemy of God and man is not willing that this truth should be clearly presented, for he knows that if the people receive it fully, his power will be broken. Now, the big question we're going to go into in just a moment, as we unpack this, when you hear imputed, are you hearing it through decades of indoctrination that imputed means some legal accounting in heaven? I'm going to suggest to you that teaching is exactly what keeps people from receiving the benefit. And thus Satan's power is not broken because they teach the imputed righteousness is legal. Therefore, they're not experiencing it here. Where's it happening? Somewhere out there, in books, in courtrooms, way far away from me. So what work could we not do for ourselves?